More strokes happen between 6 and 10 in the morning than any other time of day. That's not a coincidence. That's biology you can change. And if you're over 60, the most dangerous 4 hours of your day are the ones you sleep through, and the first hour after you open your eyes. This is educational, not medical advice. If you have warning signs, your doctor is the next step. But there are 6 things sleep science can teach you about lowering this risk, and I saved the most important one for last. You've felt it. You wake up and your heart is already pounding. Your blood pressure cuff reads higher in the morning than at night. You feel foggy and wired at the same time. Your doctor checks you in the afternoon and tells you everything looks fine. My dad is 62. He was sharp his whole life. A few years ago, he started fading. Sleep fragmented, energy gone, mood off. Everyone around him said, "That's just aging." I didn't buy it. The most dangerous thing anyone can tell you over 60 is this is normal, because it gives you permission to stop looking for solutions. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Here's the deeper problem. Most people are too afraid to name. After 60, you're not just worried about sleep. You're worried about losing your independence, about waking up one day and not being yourself anymore. And the morning stroke window is the place that fear hits hardest, because it's the moment your body is most vulnerable and most ignored by standard medical checkups. So let's pull this apart. What is actually happening to your body in those 4 hours? Why is the morning so much riskier? And what can you actually do about it tonight? To understand why mornings are so dangerous, you have to see what's happening in your body in the last hour of sleep and the first hour after you wake up. A landmark study in the journal Stroke tracked over 1,000 stroke patients and mapped the exact hour each event happened. The result was shocking. Strokes between 6 a.m. and noon occurred 49% more often than any other window. Some studies put it as high as 73%. This is one of the most reproducible findings in cardiovascular medicine. And once you see why, you can't unsee it. Here is the first piece. Your body has something called the cortisol awakening response. In the 30 to 60 minutes after you open your eyes, your cortisol level spikes 50 to 100%. That's normal. It's the alarm clock that gets you moving. But cortisol does 3 things at once. It raises your blood pressure, it makes your platelets stickier, and it constricts your blood vessels. For most people, this is harmless. For someone with hypertension or undiagnosed sleep apnea, it's the lit match next to the gasoline. Now layer in the second piece. Your blood pressure is supposed to drop 10 to 20% while you sleep. That nighttime dip gives your cardiovascular system a few hours of rest. But in 30 to 40% of adults over 60, that dip never happens. Your blood pressure stays high all night. So when the morning cortisol surge hits, it's launching from a higher floor. Researchers in the journal Hypertension found that a morning surge of more than 55 millimeters of mercury independently predicts stroke, regardless of your average blood pressure. And here's the silent multiplier most cardiologists never mention: obstructive sleep apnea. Each time your airway collapses during sleep, your oxygen drops, and your body fires off a sympathetic surge. Blood pressure can spike 30 to 40 millimeters of mercury per event. If you have moderate apnea, that's happening 15 to 30 times an hour, all night long. A New England Journal of Medicine study showed untreated sleep apnea raises stroke risk 3 to 4 times, and up to 70% of people with sleep apnea show that non-dipping pattern. The fourth piece is REM sleep. REM is concentrated in the last third of the night. Your first REM cycle is short, maybe 5 minutes. By dawn, you're in REM cycles of 30, 40, even 45 minutes. REM is autonomic chaos. Your heart rate is unstable. Your blood pressure swings. Your sympathetic nervous system fires irregularly. So in the same window where cortisol is climbing and apnea events peak, your nervous system is at its most volatile. That's the perfect storm. That's why the 6 to 10 a.m. window is the most dangerous of your day. So this isn't about luck, it's a chain reaction. Apnea drives the non-dip. The non-dip raises the floor. The cortisol surge launches off that floor. REM destabilizes the system. And then your eyes open. Therefore, the question isn't whether sleep matters for stroke prevention, it's what you can do about it tonight. If you've ever woken up at 3 or 4 a.m. with your heart pounding for no reason, drop a 4 in the comments. I want to see how many of you have felt this. And if this is starting to make sense, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to someone else who needs it. Now, let's get into the protocol. There are 6 steps backed by hard evidence. Most cost nothing. None of them replace your doctor. But every one of them targets a piece of that chain reaction we just walked through. Here's what most people get wrong about sleep apnea. They think it only matters if they're gasping loudly at night. The truth is mild apnea, just 5 to 15 events per hour, still drives non-dipping and morning blood pressure surge in millions of people. The screening tool is free. It's called Stop Bang. 8 yes or no questions. If you score 3 or more, ask your doctor for a sleep study. Most can be done at home now with a small finger device. A Lancet trial showed CPAP therapy reduces 24-hour blood pressure by 10 millimeters of mercury in apnea patients. That is equivalent to a major medication without the medication. What if I told you that you might not actually know your real blood pressure? Most clinic readings happen mid-afternoon. They miss the morning peak entirely. Buy a validated upper arm cuff. Measure within 5 minutes of waking, before coffee, feet on the floor, bladder empty. Do it for 7 days. Look for 2 patterns, an average morning systolic above 135 or a surge of more than 55 millimeters of mercury from your evening reading. Either one means you have a high-risk morning profile. Take the numbers to your doctor. Don't wait for the next checkup. This sounds too simple to matter. It isn't. Early sleep position research showed that sleeping on your back doubles or triples your apnea events compared to sleeping on your side. Side sleeping cuts apnea events 30 to 50% in most people. Free. No equipment. The tennis ball in the back of the pajama shirt trick works. So does a body pillow. As a bonus, raising the head of your bed 6 to 8 inches with a foam wedge, not a stack of pillows, which just bends your neck, reduces airway collapse another 40%. Here's something you probably don't think about. Overnight, you lose half a liter to a full liter of fluid through breathing and skin evaporation. Your blood gets thicker, your hematocrit rises, your clotting risk goes up. The fix is almost embarrassing. Put 250 to 300 milliliters of water on your bedside table before you go to bed. Drink it before you stand up in the morning. Pale yellow urine within an hour means you're hydrated. Dark yellow means you waited too long. Alcohol gives you sedation, not sleep. That's like calling a nap on the subway rest. Even 1 or 2 drinks fragments your REM, doubles your apnea events, and triggers nocturnal atrial fibrillation. The nightcap that helps you fall asleep is the same nightcap actively raising your morning stroke risk. If you have apnea, the safe amount of evening alcohol is 0. If you don't, finish drinking at least 4 hours before bed. This is the one I've been building toward. A 5-year trial of medication timing showed that taking your blood pressure medication at night instead of in the morning reduced major cardiovascular events by approximately 60%. 60% from a timing change. Now, this is not something you do on your own. Some medications, like diuretics, should not move. Others, like ACE inhibitors and ARBs, often should. Bring the question to your doctor. The phrase you want to use is, should we look at evening dosing for chronotherapy? That conversation could be the highest leverage 5 minutes of your year. Now here is what's going to stop most people from acting on any of this. 3 myths. If you can clear them, you'll do more for your morning risk than any new medication can. Myth 1. Stroke is random. There's nothing you can do. We just spent the last 6 minutes proving the opposite. The morning peak is real, it's reproducible, and most of what drives it is modifiable. Random luck is not your story. Myth 2. High morning blood pressure is just white coat anxiety. This one's dangerous. Morning blood pressure elevation is physiological. It's measurable at home, far away from any clinic, and it predicts stroke independently of your clinic numbers. If your home morning readings are high, That is real data, not nerves. Myth 3. Sleep apnea only matters if you're gasping loudly. Wrong. Mild, silent apnea, the kind your partner doesn't notice, is enough to wreck your non-dipping pattern and amplify your morning surge. The screening is 8 questions. The downside of taking it is 0. If any of those 3 myths were quietly running in the back of your head, this is the part where you let them go. The science doesn't support them. Your morning is not random, so that's the plan. 6 steps: screen for apnea, log your morning blood pressure, sleep on your side, hydrate the moment you wake, cut the evening alcohol, and bring the medication timing conversation to your doctor. I expanded every one of these into a free 7-day guide that walks you through it night by night. It's called the Adrian Mercer Sleep Protocol. The link is in the description. Drop your email and I'll send it over. It's the same framework I use myself, the same one I helped my dad rebuild on. No subscription, no upsell. If you want to go deeper on what your brain is actually doing during sleep, watch the deep sleep video next. It's the science behind why every one of these steps matters more after 50. Link in the description. And one safety line. Because this matters, if you or anyone you live with has sudden weakness on one side, slurred speech, or vision loss, that's not a wait-and-see moment. Call emergency services immediately. Time is brain. Tell me in the comments, which of these 6 steps are you starting tonight? I read every one. Subscribe and hit the bell. New sleep science every week. I'm Adrian Mercer. Sleep well.